Hi everyone, it's Sandy. Thank you for joining me. I posted this really cute project that I created on my Instagram a couple of days ago, and I wanted to come on here as well and share with you guys this cute project if you don't have Instagram. And I'm also going to do a tutorial as well. And I wanted to make something using vellum paper. I love the texture of vellum and the transparency of the paper, especially when you place vellum on top of your printed paper or your die cuts or whatever project you have. It just has that nice soft transparency through the vellum, and it's just a lovely paper to work with. You can do so much with vellum. You can use it for card making. You could stamp and heat emboss your vellum paper as well. You can do some stamping on it. You can use it as pages for your journals. There's just a lot of ways you could use vellum, but I wanted to make the vellum and create a little pocket folder with the paper, and this is the project that I had come up with, and it is just really cute, really easy to put together, and it's not a big size, but you can make this in any size you like. I just like to make mine sort of small and compact, but it still holds a lot of goodies in here as well. And the measurements for this pocket folder, it's about 4¼ inches by 3 inches. So it's not big and it's not too small, but I'm quite happy with the size. And this is where I place the vellum. I use it for the cover of the folder. And it's a great little project for you to create because the pocket inside will hold a lot of goodies in there. You could use it to add your crafty projects, to add to send to somebody, packaged handmade jewellery. You could add a letter in here, tea bags, just a lot of ways you can use the pocket. And I'm going to show you what it looks like on the inside, and then I'll show you the tutorial. And what I've done here on the front, I did add a little embellishment here. It's just a circle layered embellishment, which I still think I have these available in my shop. And then I just added a little bit more to the embellishment and added some sequins, another little layered circle shape and some hearts. And then over here I've got this really lovely white chiffon flower that had some tulle attached to it. And then all I've done was I just thread the tulle through the little hole of the cover and then tied a knot to create this cute little puffy flower on the front. I just think that was just a nice way to finish off the project, and it just makes it look really pretty. And so what I've got these now listed in my shop, and these are what they look like. You get a pack of 5 different colors, and they look like this, and they're just great to add to your project. So these are what they look like. So this is the little tool on the end, and then you just thread it through the whole of your cover or your tags, and then you just tie a couple of little knots, and then have this really cute little flower to decorate your tags or your covers. You could also attach or tie a knot to your binder rings for your mini albums. You could also just fold this back and then use some hot glue and then use it as an embellishment to add to your projects. You could add a paper clip to it. So there's a lot of ways you could use these little chiffon flowers. And you get, in the pack, you'll get this lovely pink one, a nice minty green colour one, a nice soft blue colour, a white one, and this really lovely sort of a shabby pink flower coloured one as well. So these are the 5 colours you get. So they'll be listed in my shop. I think there's about 8 or 10 packets available. And then I'm just going to come back here and just show you the inside of my little pocket folder. Then I'll do the tutorial. And so I've used some crochet string again to use as a closure. I like using crochet string because it's inexpensive. They're really easy to get hold of from any department store or craft store. And it's nice and thin, so it's not too bulky when you want to use as a closure. So I'm just going to take this out, and I'll show you the inside. So this part here is the cover where I've got the vellum. So you just open it up, and so that is the cover. as you can see. It's nice how you can still see through it, and you can still see through what's inside. And then over here is your pocket, and it's a good size pocket too, so you can hold a lot of stuff in here. And what I've got in here is this really cute Polaroid shaped die, and with a embellishment, and I stamped the underneath the vellum. And this is a Cocoa and Reno die, and the coordinating stamp. I think I purchased it was a while back. I've got a little tassel. And then I've also placed one of my little pockets that I also shared in one of my other videos that you can make with some scrap papers. And then I embellished the front, added some dangles to decorate the pocket. And in the pocket I've got a little mini folder. And I've just placed a card that I cut apart and just cut it to size to fit in this pocket. So it's just a couple of little ideas of if you want to what to add in the pocket. And this is how it looks like. So you can see it's got heaps of space in there, so you can add three-dimensional embellishments. You can just add something nice and flat and then set it in the mail if you don't want to add anything too bulky like that. But that is the little project. It's really, really easy to make. So I'm going to show you now how to make it and what the papers you need. I did also, just before I share with you the paper sizes, I did make one. I tried a sample one to see what it would look like using heavier weight paper. This is a die cut with a view paper, which is double-sided and it's quite thick. So if you want to use a heavyweight paper, it will still work. It's quite thick, but it's fine. The papers I'm going to show you for the project is just more lightweight paper, so it'll probably work better with lightweight paper. But it doesn't matter, you can use any weight paper to make the project. You could also use a digital prints on photocopying papers too, so it'll still work. And with your vellum, if you don't have any vellum, you can use tracing paper. Tracing paper might be a little bit thin, so if you can find something that's a little bit more thicker. The vellum that I'm using is 115 GSM thick. You can use 90 GSM. That should work as well for the cover as well, but the thicker you have it, the better, but it'll still work. So like again, this is 115 GSM, and these are just some scrapbook paper, single-sided paper. All right, so what you're going to need 4 little pieces of paper. So you can use scrap papers, and you want to cut one piece at 5 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches. You want to cut a couple little scrap pieces, and then you want to cut another piece at 1.5 inches by 3 inches. A little strip at 3/4 of an inch by 3 inches. And your vellum or tracing paper at 4 inches by 3 inches. So they're the 4 pieces of papers that you need. So we're going to start with this larger size piece first. And you're going to need your scoreboard. So I'm just going to turn it this way so you can see. So on the 5 3/4 of an inch side, you're going to score at 3/4 of an inch and 5 inches. So it's basically 3/4 of an inch in from each end. And then you're going to turn it around on the 4 inch side, and you're going to score it at 1 inch. And that's all there is for the scoring. And now we're going to just make a couple of little cuts. We'll start with this little left square corner first. We're going to just angle cut this little piece here, just slightly, not too much, up to where it crosses over. And then we're going to cut along there and remove this little square piece. So you want to have that shape. And then we're just going to go over to this side and do the same and angle cut that piece as well. Doesn't matter if it's not the same. that's how you want it to look like, and that's all there is to that part. And now we're going to come to the right, so we're just going to fold this in. We're going to fold this bottom one up, and then we're going to bring this one in. So now you'll have your paper sort of looking like this. What we'll do now is we're going to just reopen this up. We're going to add a bit of glue here to create your pocket. And just seal that off. So there you have your little pocket. And now we've got this little piece here. You're going to grab your vellum piece at 4 inches by 3 inches. And that's going to be placed on the inside like that. So as you can see here, my vellum is a little bit shorter than the actual size of the pocket, which is what I wanted mine to look like. So I wanted to still be able to see the pattern. But if you want your vellum to go right over to the end, you can just measure that out, which is about 4 and maybe 4 1/4 of an inch. So in length, you can do that. But I always like mine a little bit shorter. So that's going to get placed in there. So I'm going to open this up, and we're going to apply glue to this side. I'm just going to bring this back in here, just making sure it all lines up. And then you just bring this over and seal that off. So there you have your cover. Now with this part here, you can see here, you're going to see the glue through here, or if you want that covered, you're going to grab that little strip that we cut at 3/4 of an inch by 3 inches, and you're just going to place that over the top there, and that'll cover that up and also decorate your inside pocket as well. Now just also a little tip, I cut this out exactly the size of this. You may want to just trim this down just a little bit, because when we glue that in, it's actually going to push out a little bit when you close your cover. And when you do that, you're going to see a bit of the other end of that, the backing, which you don't want to see that through there. So I'm just going to trim mine just a little bit. I mean, like, not a lot. So just that much is fine. And then I'm just going to just double check to make sure when I close this up, you're not going to see it. So I'm fine with that. So now I can apply glue to the back of the vellum. And then I can place my little panel strip. And that will cover up the back of the cover here. So that completes that. And then now you have this other little piece that we cut at 1 1/2 inches by 3 inches. We're just going to fold that in half. And that will get placed on the end of that vellum. And that just also decorates your cover as well. So we're going to place that there. So we just put glue along the inside. And then we're just going to slide that in. And there you have yourself a vellum pocket folder, just like the one I've made here. It's really easy. So there's your cover, which is that, and then you've got your pocket, which is the same as this one. And then you can decorate the front of your cover. And with this one, I just punched a hole here, like I have here. I punched a little hole, That way I can thread my thread through, and then I did place one of these. I just ran the little tool bit through the hole and then just tied a knot, and then you can get yourself a nice little decorative pocket folder. So that is just another simple project. So again, as you can see with the weight, it's sort of raise it up a little bit, whereas if you've got more thinner paper, it will work better, and yet you've still got a nice pocket as well in there. So I hope you enjoyed this really easy fun tutorial using some vellum paper or tracing paper, and I'll see you all soon in my next video. Bye for now.